all for the afternoon session of day 5. This session will be on advanced charts in Tableau, which will be handled by Dr. Samir Rohadia. It gives me an immense pleasure in introducing our resource person, Dr. Samir Rohadia, business intelligence consultant and data analyst from Germany. He is a qualified professional in data science, business management, and electrical engineering. He also holds a doctorate in ERP implementation. He has over 20 years of experience, especially as a professor for 15 years in business administration area. His areas of expertise includes MSBI tools, Power BI, SSIS, SSAS, SSRS, IBM SPSS, SQL, and Tableau. He is an experienced and result-oriented BI consultant and data analyst in data and analytic projects by deploying effective project management principles. He is also a certified professional Scrum Master and product owner. He has conducted over 12 webinars in this lockdown alone. His awards are many. To name a few, at World Education Congress Global Awards, he has received the Young Achiever Award, Best Professor in Information Technology at National Education Award in 2015. He is also a recipient of MTC Global Distinguished Teacher Award in the year 2016. It's really a great honor to have such a remarkable person with us today. Welcome you, sir.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, madam, for this. Yeah.
I would like to request a resource person, Dr. Sami, to take over the session. Over to you, sir.
Yes, thank you, madam. Thank you for this lovely introduction. And yeah, so I'm very happy to see all of you. And sometimes, like I always think that whether really this COVID-19 is bad for all of us or whether it is good. So I take it in on a positive note that currently I'm sitting in Germany and I'm able to conduct this session. So I think so credit goes to, first of all, COVID-19. And then definitely the credit goes to the college, IFET, to allow me to take this webinar. So with this thing, I think so we have already 52 participants total. Now, before we go further, maybe I would request one of the participants to let me know that what they have done till date, yeah, from 27th of July, and today is 31st, and today my session is the last one. So up till now, in brief, yeah, maybe 3-4 minutes, if you can let me know that what has been covered, so that I'm having some brief idea, and then I can start my own session. So anyone from the participant who can take a lead and who can brief me. So especially I want that person who is continuously attending this all the sessions up till now. Yeah. So.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, madam.
Yes, sir. Sir, from the day one, sir, we were exposed to what is called as data science and data analytics, and what is the types of analytics. And then we were introduced to Tableau, how to use Tableau for data visualization, and what are the various visualization tools, and how Tableau is different from that tools, and what are the facilities or features that are available in Tableau. And today we saw about advanced visualization in Tableau, sir. And it was hands-on also we had. So we had a very good introduction to Tableau. That is, I am basically from electronics and communication. I had a very good session of getting started with the Tableau, sir.
Okay. And in today's session, what you said about that advanced tools, advanced charts. So what things were covered in today's session, just in brief?
In today's session, how preparation, that is addition, calculations can be included on our requirement, how calculations can be included, and what are the measures value that can be added. So if we need more measures that can be added, and how to frame that syntax to include in that, and to how to visualize this graphically by using various plots, and how to enable the labels to be visualized in the plots itself. These were done today, sir.
Okay. Okay. Good. Thank you, madam. Thank you for this brief background on all this whole webinar up till now. So yeah, thank you. So now I request all of you, definitely I've shared the data set with all of you in this chat box also, as well as I think so Anand sir has said that it has already been shared on your WhatsApp group. So please download, it's just one Excel file, yeah, simple Excel file. So please download it, because definitely we'll be using that Excel file today as well as tomorrow also, because tomorrow in the morning I'm having another session which is on dashboards and stories. So most probably we'll be using that same data set, yeah, for tomorrow's session also. Great. So let us start. Yeah. So I hope that you are able to see my screen.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yeah, yeah. And madam, whenever in between, suppose if you are not able to see my screen or if you are not able to hear me, please let me know. Otherwise, I will not be having any idea. Yeah, I'll be going in my flow, and then I will be lost. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I'll do
okay. That. Okay. Good. So this is what is the title of this 6 days. I would say this whole STTP. And it's Tableau data visualization tool for researchers. And I have been using Tableau, as madam said, that I did my master in data science from Bologna University in Italy. And that too, I did my master after having this 15 years of teaching experience. Okay. So one thing which I want to communicate to all the participants, like mostly you must be definitely the teaching professionals or researchers, that sometimes we have to come out of our comfort zone. Yeah. So we have to leave our comfort zone, go for something new, and maybe that new venture can give you a lot of challenges, but you should be ready for it, and then it will also give you a lot of opportunities. Yeah. So after teaching for 15 years, I thought that, okay, now I'm having enough of teaching experience. Now let me go and learn something new. And then I also wanted to do some work in the corporate, because earlier I worked for 2 years as an ERP implementer, as a consultant. And then onwards, I shifted to teaching. But I thought that let me go back and learn something new, so that if I want to switch over again to teaching, then at least I'll be able to share something with my students. Okay. Because just now, you know, all that we are also having internet and students are also having internet. So now how you differentiate yourself from the students, yeah, and what additional knowledge you are giving to your students, that is what is very, very important in today's world. So let me, I will not go into this. Madam has already talked about this thing. Yeah. And now today, this is the topic which I'll be covering, that is advanced charts in Tableau. And for me, it is really good that already you are comfortable with how to use Tableau. So definitely, like, my part is much more simpler than the other, I would say, the resource persons. Yeah. And nevertheless, today and tomorrow, it will be totally practical thing. So we'll be doing together how to create these charts, advanced charts in Tableau, as well as how to also create the dashboards and stories. Yeah. So what I'll be doing that, because here in today's session, like based on whatever we are having the time, I'll try my level best to complete whatever I have decided. So total, I have decided 6 advanced charts in Tableau. Yeah. And let us see if we are able to cover all the 6 charts. Yeah. So what I'll be doing, I'll be going or I would like to switch over between the presentation and the Tableau. Yeah. So if there will be small theory for that chart, I'll be coming to the presentation, and then say more focus will be on the practical part. Yeah. So the first chart that we'll be taking today is Gantt chart. Yeah. So you can see in this figure, and definitely you must have seen these kind of chart. Mostly this is used in project management or when you are planning something. So it has been named after its inventor, Henry Gantt. And it is a useful graphical tool which shows activities or tasks performed against time. Yeah, so we are having the list of activities on one side, and then we are having the time. Here it is shown in terms of week. So then it gives a very clear idea that, okay, when we are starting a particular activity, when we are ending it, then which activities we can do it simultaneously, which can be done one after another. Yeah, so this gives a very good picture. And normally people say that a picture is equal to 1,000 words. Yeah, that's why we are more inclined toward these kind of visualization rather than. So suppose if I explain you all these things, this whole chart in a form of a paragraph, definitely you will not remember it. But if it is in form of this kind of chart, then definitely you can remember it. Yeah. So this is, yeah. So here it says it is a visual representation of a project where the activities are broken down and displayed on a chart, which makes it easy to understand and interpret. So that is what I said, that the whole project, yeah, as I said earlier, that this is used in project management. So the whole project, say for example, to build a new building, that is one project. Now that project has to be divided into different small activities, and then that activities, we have to define that how much time is approximately required. So this gives us a benchmark, yeah, or one kind of a milestone that, okay, this is by this time I should be able to complete so and so thing. Yeah. So now this is the Gantt chart. Now let us go to the Tableau. Yeah. So I hope that everybody is ready with Tableau. Yeah. You are normally, like I'm also using this Tableau Public, which is freely available. Yeah. Normally, if someone asks me, yeah, that you must have in the earlier sessions, you must have seen that there are other data visualization tools also apart from Tableau. Like we are having Power BI, then we also have MicroStrategy and ClickSense. Okay, these are the 4 major, I would say, the data visualization tools which are there. Now, my personal preference is always Power BI. Yeah, and one of the reason why I'm going for Power BI is that the normal version, that is the desktop version, is freely available. Yeah, and it is free for the lifetime. The problem with this Tableau is that the Tableau desktop version, you must be knowing that it is coming with a trial version, 15 days only. And then you have to pay a huge amount, that is in dollars, it's like $70. While here, this Tableau Public is definitely free of cost, but Tableau Public, you cannot use it for your sensitive data analysis, okay? Because in Tableau Public, you must be knowing that we cannot save our file on our desktop, yeah, on our system. It is always saved on the cloud. So whenever you are having any sensitive data, you cannot save that sensitive data onto the cloud, okay? So that is one of the, I would say, the drawback of Tableau. But definitely it is also a very good tool, very popular tool. And in terms of the market, if I talk about the market of this data visualization, just I would like to inform you that Power BI is #1, yeah, and it has been leader since last 7-8 years, and Tableau is coming #2, yeah, but they are like competitors to each other. So even I also like Tableau. So now everybody is ready with the data set, yeah. So let me also show you what is that our data set. Let me also share the screen because this is the issue with Zoom. Yeah, so this is our Excel sheet. And here we are having 3 data set. That is, we are having the orders data set, then returns and people. Okay. Now for today, we'll be only using this orders data set. Okay. This orders data set. So here we are having the row ID, order ID, order date, ship mode, customer ID, customer name, segment, postal code, city, and then we are having country, state, region, market, product ID, category. Yeah. So these are all these tables which are there. Sorry, all these columns which are there over here. So we'll be using this data set for our today, yeah, and tentatively also for tomorrow's session. So I'm closing this data set I just wanted to show you this thing. Now I'll come to the Tableau. Take the screen also. Okay. Now, yes, I hope that everybody is able to see my Tableau screen. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So now, first of all, you must be very much accustomed with how to connect that any file to Tableau. So say my file is an Excel file. So we click on this Microsoft Excel. Yeah. And then I go to my folder where I'm having this file. So this is the file set. This is the Excel file that is Global Superstore 2016. And I click open. Okay, so now our Excel file is now connected with Tableau. Maybe what I'll do, one thing. Yeah, for temporary purpose, I'll try to stop my video because it is not required. So here on the left hand side, we can see that these are the 3 sheets which are there, which is part of the which are part of this Excel file. So we have orders, people, and returns. Okay. Now I would like to use only the orders sheet over here. Yeah. So I hope that in the earlier session you must be knowing how to do this thing. So I can drag. Yeah, we can simply drag this order sheet and we can put it over here. Yeah, here it is showing us drag sheets here. So I just drag the order sheet and put it over here. Yeah. If we want to add another file also, we can do it like that. And then we can also try to make a connection between, say, for example, people and orders, if there is at all any connection. But currently, for our today's exercise, I would like to use only the orders data sheet. Yeah. So below you can see that this is our data set. Yeah. It is showing all the columns and all the rows over here. We can go down also like this. So it's a big data set. It's approximately, I think so, having around 50,000 plus rows. Yeah. Now we want to go with the visualization. Okay. So you must be definitely knowing that here we are having the sheet 1 below. Yeah. So I click on that sheet 1. Yeah. So as soon as we click on sheet 1, so now we are over here in this our blank space where we'll be creating the visualization. So the first visualization or advanced chart, as the title suggests, that it is known as the Gantt chart. Okay, so how to create a Gantt chart? Now, these are all our dimensions. These are all our measures. Yeah. Now let us start the creating the Gantt chart. Now here, first of all, I would like to drag the category. Yeah, here in the dimensions, we are having the first field that is known as category. Yeah, so I drag that category to the rows over here. Yeah, drag the category to the rows. Okay, this is the first thing. Then we also select the subcategory. Yeah, in these dimensions only, below you can see that we are having this subcategories field. So I also drag the subcategories and put it in the rows. Okay, so this is one thing. And then yeah, now I click this. Yeah, this is done. Okay, this is one thing. Now we drag, yeah, the rows we are having the category and subcategory. Now here we want to, we are having two dates over here. Yeah, we are having the order date. As you can see over here, we are having the order date and we are having the ship date. Okay, so with the help of these two things, these two dates, we want to create the range that when we ordered and after how many days it was shipped, that product was shipped. Okay, so what I would like to do is that I select from the dimensions, I click this order date and I put it in the I put it in the columns. Okay. And then here, once I put this thing, this order date into columns, now over here in this order date, you are having a drop down arrow. Yeah. So you click on the drop down arrow. Yeah. Click on this drop down arrow in the order date. And then here we have to take this continuous day. Over here, you can see my pointer. Yeah, this is here continuous day. So I click on this day over here in this order date. Yeah. Again, I'm repeating, I have put this order date over here in the columns and then I click this drop down arrow. And in this drop down arrow, I click this one, this particular day. Yeah, we are having this day and this day. So we select this one. The first one, it is known as a continuous day. So I click on it. And then here we are getting this, one kind of a chart. Okay. Now, another thing what we do is that we again take this order date. Yeah, we take this order date and we create a filter. Yeah, so I'm dragging this order date and I'm putting it over here in the filters area. Yeah, just drag it and leave it over there. Okay. Now here I want to go with the, now here it is asking us that how do you want to filter on order date? I say days. Yeah. Days. Let me see one thing. Just hold on. Okay, so now, yeah, we select this order date, we put it in the filter, and then we say here range of dates is selected. Okay, so we keep this range of dates as it is. We click next. Okay, now here you can see that we are having a very long range. Okay, so starting from 1st of January 2012 till 31st of December 2015. Now to make this chart very simple, I would like to go for a range that is just for 3 months. Yeah. So what do I mean by that? So from 1st of January 2012, I want to go till 31st of March 2012. So that is the first quarter. Yeah, just one quarter. We can go for a higher range also, but I just want to go for the first quarter. So here it is already showing me 1st of January 2012. Yeah. And here on the other side, I just go to that 2000, or we can also directly change it over here. The first one is month. So here I write down 03. And then here it is, okay, 31st is fine. And then here I write down 2012. Okay. So directly over here also, we can write down the month and that date range. Yeah. So from 1st of January 2012 till 31st of March. Yeah. First of all, it is showing us month, then day, then year. So I'm taking this range only, this much range, 3 months range. Yeah. I hope that that is clear. Okay. So this we are doing it. Then we click apply. Yeah. We click apply. And then we click OK. Okay, apply and OK. So here we are getting these kind of a chart. Okay. So these are all these lines. These are showing us this order date. Yeah. And here you can see on the x-axis we are having from starting from January till 26th of March. It is showing us. Yeah, and we have only selected for 3 months. That's all. Okay. And on the y-axis we are having the category, and we are having the subcategories. Okay. So this is one thing that we are doing. Okay. Now here we are having the order date, and we are also having the ship date. Now I would like to calculate the duration. Yeah. What is the duration between the order date and the ship date? So whenever I want to calculate something new, then we have to go over here. Yeah, we have to create a measure. So in this dimensions area, I hope that maybe I do not know whether you know how to create measure, but I think so definitely in today's session in the morning, you should be able to do this thing. So in the dimensions area over here, you can see my pointer, we are having a drop down arrow. Yeah, over here in the dimensions. So we click the first one, that is create calculated field. Okay, create calculated field. I click on it. Then here, once I click this drop down arrow and I select the first one, that is create calculated field. Now I give some title to this thing, that is I give the title duration, because I want to calculate the duration between the ship date and the order date. Yeah. So duration. Now I would like to go for a difference in the date. Yeah, difference in the date, that is we are having 2 dates, order date and ship date. So here we can use a function that is known as date diff. Yeah, that is date difference. Okay. Now it is asking us in this date difference function, there are these 3 things which are there. So first of all, we say what is the date part. Okay. So what thing we have to count for the date difference, whether we want to take the month or the day or the year. So here in our case, we want to have the day. Yeah, we do not want to have the month. So I can write down like this, day in inverted comma. Yeah, like this one, a single comma, yeah, inverted comma. So day. Yeah. Then it is asking us what is the start date. So start date in our case is always the order date. Okay. And the end date is always the ship date. So here I write down order. If I write down order, then I'm getting this order date over here. I double click on that. Okay. So our start date is ready. Yeah. Date difference is date part is day, comma, the start date is order date, comma, now end date. Now end date, we can take the ship date. So I write down over here ship, yeah, ship, and I click the ship date. Yeah, double click on ship date. Now here, if we want to have some particular start of week, then we can mention it, but in our case, it is not required. So our formula here, we can also see that the calculation is valid. Yeah, if there is any error, then it will show us that error, that what is like there is an error over here. So this is the, I hope that there is no question. Yeah, so I think so date difference, it is clear. Yeah, if you write just date and then you get this option, so you can select date difference. Yeah, date diff. Then this is the, we want to take the day into consideration for the date difference. Then starting date is order date and the end date is ship date. So our formula is ready. Now we click on apply and OK. Yes. So now you can see in the measures we are having this duration, yeah, which we have recently created. Yeah. Now this duration, yeah, this duration field or this measure, I drag it over here in the size. Yeah, here we are having these 5 buttons: color, size, label, detail, and tooltip. So I drag this duration and put it in the size, because why? I want to see the duration in terms of a size. Yeah, it is a size. So I put it that duration on the size. And now you can see the Gantt chart. Okay. So if you put your pointer over here.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I need the formula once more, sir, to calculate the date difference.
Sorry, you want to see the formula?
I need to know the formula once again, sir.
Okay, okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So this is the formula, date diff, in bracket, you write in inverted commas, one single inverted comma, day, then comma, then you write down just order, and then you get this order date. You double click order date, comma, and then you write down ship. If you just write down ship, then you will getting the ship date, and then you double click it. So your formula is ready like this. Yeah. Okay. So here we can get this kind of thing. Now here, if you want to play with this range of the dates, yeah, currently, as you can see on the x-axis, we are having the starting date. Approximately, it is starting the first of January till it is going. Yeah, it is showing more than the thing, because more than the 31st of March, because sometimes it happens that you have ordered on, say, for example, 31st of March itself, but then you were shipped after, say, for example, 10 days. So that's why it is showing more than here 24th of April. Now, if you want to play with the range of these dates, yeah, then already we are having this filter. In the filter section, we are having the order date. So if you want to, currently we are not able to see the filter. So if we click this drop down arrow, and then here we have this second option that is known as show filter. Okay, so I click on show filter. Now on the right hand side, yeah, over here you can see that filter. Yeah, so I can increase this range also. You can see that now it is till 25th of August 2013. Yeah, likewise we can play with this filter like this. Yeah, I can decrease like this also. Yeah, this is just for 1 month. Yeah, from 1st of January till it is showing me till 24th. Let me make it. Yeah, it is not so accurate. Okay, so here this is what we are having. Yeah, this is just for 1 month. Okay, so here if you put your pointer over here, then we can get this kind of Gantt chart. Yeah, all these things we are getting over here. Okay, now any questions you have? Okay, filter option, like how to get this filter on the right hand side. What you have to do that where we have created this filter, yeah, this order date, you click on this drop down arrow, yeah, and then you select the second option, that is show filter. Okay, that's all. If you want to remove the filter, clear filter, you can clear filter. Yeah, but normally this thing has to be clicked. Yeah, show filter. Currently it is not selected. Now I again select it. So now you can get this filter over here. So this technique applies to all the filters. Whichever filter you want to put it over here, and if you want to see the filter on the right hand side, then we have to click this option, that is show filter. Yeah, in all the parameters. So I hope that this is clear. Yeah, this is known as a simple Gantt chart. Yeah. Likewise, you can create for any of your use case wherever it is required. Yeah. Normally we should have some kind of a range in terms of date. So here we are having the order date and the ship date. But in the columns, you have seen that we have just taken one date only, order date. And then we have used this calculation or one kind of a measure known as duration. And in the duration, as you have seen that we have taken both the dates and we have taken the date difference. And then we have used this duration and we have put it over here in the size. Yeah, so that we can get this, the length of this bar. Yeah. So I hope that this is clear. Okay. Great. Thank you all. And yeah, in between, if you are having any questions related to this chart, then definitely you can let me know. Yeah. Okay. Now let me come to the another chart. Yeah. So this chart is known as the packed bubble chart. Okay. So this is what we'll be creating similarly like this. Yeah. So these are all these bubbles and these are like packed with each other. Yeah. Connected with like they are joined with each other. Yeah. And this is also a very, very good visualization tool we are having. Yeah. Or one kind of a chart we are having. Now here what it says, the size and optionally the color of the bubbles are used to visualize the data. Okay. The important thing is that here the size is more important rather than color. But if you use color also, then also it becomes much more, yeah, much more colorful and it looks good. So the bubble which is having the bigger size, definitely it shows that, okay, they are much more prominent in the whole data set. And also the colors. Yeah, we can also give colors for different categories that we'll see in our example, how to get that different colors for the different categories. So this is one thing. Different bubble sizes are useful to visually emphasize specific values. Okay, so it emphasizes here, we can see that there are different kinds of Drinks we are having, yeah, like cafe latte, cafe mocha, and espresso, and regular espresso, and all those things. Okay, so it emphasizes the specific values, and it is often used to present the financial data. Okay, so this is about the packed bubble chart. Now let me take you to the Tableau. Okay, now what we can do, let us create another sheet. Yeah, this in one sheet, because it is good that you keep all those different charts on different sheets. Yeah, so currently we are in sheet 1. Now below you can click on the new worksheet below. Yeah, the next one. So this is our sheet 2. Now here we'll be creating the packed bubble chart. Okay, so for packed bubble chart, first of all, you drag the category first of all. Okay, in these dimensions, first thing we are having is category. So drag the category to the columns. Okay, drag this category to the columns, and sales. Yeah, in the measures we are having the sales over here in the measures. So you drag that sales into rows. Okay, we have put the categories over here in dimension. We put it in the columns, and sales, which is part of these measures, we have dragged it over here. Okay, so by default, what happens that Tableau, it tries to create a bar graph. Okay, this is by default chart which is created by Tableau. But now what we have to create, a packed bubble chart. Okay, so here you can see my pointer on the right hand top corner. We are having this show me. I think so. Maybe you must have used this thing today morning also. So here, if we click on show me, then here we are getting all the list of the charts. Yeah, different the basic the normal charts which we are having. Now by default it has selected this is your recommended chart, that is bar graph. But here you can see at the bottom we are having this bubble chart. Yeah, packed bubble chart. You can see my pointer that it is having those circles. Yeah, so you click on this packed bubble chart. Yeah, this chart over here. Yeah, so now you can see that our packed bubble chart is ready. Okay, we are having furniture, office supplies, and technology. These are the 3 categories that we are having. Yeah, 3 categories: furniture, office supplies, and technology. And if you put your pointer over here, you can see that this is our tooltip. It says that furniture, the sales is so much, office supplies, the sales is this much, and the technology, the sales is this much. Okay, so this is done. Okay, but now we'll work on it more. Now once you have selected this packed bubble chart from this show me, you can just also click again on this upper part of the show me where show me is written. So now that is gone. Yeah, you click again on the show me, and then all those charts are gone. Now on the right hand side, yeah, you can see one kind, it is known as one kind of a legend. So we have furniture, office supplies, and technology, and it is showing us those colors. Okay, and here also it is mentioned. Now we want to go into detail. Yeah, we are having currently these 3 basic bubbles, 3 bubbles. Now we want to go into detail. So what we do, first of all, in this dimensions area, on the left hand side dimensions area, I select the market. Okay, so I put this market, I select this market and put it over here in the details area over here. Yeah, details. So what I've done, I've selected the market and put it over here in the details area. Yeah, just this button, details. So now you can see that we are having these bubbles. Yeah, All this, like here it is showing us technology, 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 technology. There are 4 and 5 bubbles, but they are from different regions. Yeah. This bubble is from Latin America. This bubble, the market is Asia Pacific. This is US and Canada. This is Africa, and this is Europe. Okay. So likewise for there are 5 regions over here, and every region is having one bubble of technology, then one bubble of office supplies. Yeah. This is the office supplies for Asia Pacific, likewise for other, and then we are having 5 bubbles for the furniture category. Yeah, you can see over here. Yeah. So this is our bubble chart with market also. It is divided into, we are going into detail, and we are including the market also. Initially we had 3 bubbles, and now you can see that we are having 5 3s are 15. Yeah, total 15 bubbles are there. Now, if you want to go again deeper, okay, over here. So, okay, now so before we go into detail, now here we are able to see only the type of the category, but I'm not able to see whether this bubble is representing which market. Okay, when I put my pointer over here, then in the tooltip, I can see that, okay, this is the market is Latin America. This bubble is of technology, but of the Asia Pacific market. But I would like to show this market over here where this technology is written. There I would like to also show the market. Okay, so how to do that thing? What we do? We put the market. Yeah, you can just see over here. We select the market, and then we put it in the labels over here. Yeah, we are having these 5 buttons are very, very important. Okay, color, size, label, detail, and tooltip. So I put this again, this market, and I put it over here in the label. Yeah, label. I hope there is question, anything. Market dimension. Yeah, so market, this is our market over here. Yeah, in the dimensions area. I hope that you are able to see this thing. Yeah, market. Yeah. Okay, so I've just dragged this market first of all to the details area. I've dragged this market to the details, and now to see all these regions in the bubble, I have dragged the market in the label area. Yeah, so 2 times I have used this market dimension. Yeah, and now you can also see that these small bubbles, they are not able to show you because they are small, and it is not able to accommodate this this text over here. But the majority of the bubbles, we are able to see the category as well as the market. Okay, so this is how we can use this label over here. Yeah, I hope that that is clear. Okay, now next thing, if we want to go into detail, yeah, so what we can do, that in this measures area, yeah, below measures area, we are having this profit. Yeah, we are having this profit. So what I do, I just drag this profit into color. Yeah, I drag that profit into this color area. Yeah, and I leave it. Okay, I drag the profit, which is part of the measures, and I put it over here in the colors area. Okay, so now we are able to get a picture that which category is having the lowest profit and which is having the highest profit, and then all the other categories are in between. Okay, so as you can see that this technology, this bubble technology, and plus the Asia Pacific region, this bubble is having the highest profit. because it is really dark blue in color. Okay, and mostly you can see that this furniture, yeah, this is furniture bubble, this is also furniture, yeah. So mostly the furniture bubbles, they are having the low profits. Yeah, that's why their color, you can see that it is really light blue in color, very light blue in color. Yeah, and here on the right hand side, you can see that the color range. Yeah, now if you are not happy with this color range, yeah, then here on the right hand side where we have this one kind of a, yeah, not filter, but yeah, one range, then we can click on this drop down arrow. Yeah, in this sum profit where it is written, we click on the drop down arrow, and then it says edit colors. Yeah, we click the first one, that is edit colors. Now here it is showing us palette. By default it is automatic. If you click on this drop down arrow, then here you can use this range. Yeah, initially it is having the single colors, then 2 colors, then 3 colors, and so on. Okay, so say for example, if I use, yeah, just an example, red and gold. Yeah, I click on red and gold, and here also I can select some step colors and reverse. I don't do anything. I just click apply and OK. Okay, so now the bubble which is having the dark red color, they are the categories and the market which is having the highest profit. Okay, so this bubble and this bubble, they are all dark in color, so they are having the highest profit, while these light colors which are having, like again this furniture bubble, yeah, even this office supplies in Africa, they are showing us a very, very light, I would say, red color. Yeah, so these are the areas where the profit is very, very less. Okay, so this is how we can use this this thing, yeah, like the profit. Yeah, now one more thing we can do it over here. Yeah, that is if you want to calculate a profit margin. Yeah, profit margin. So, and then if I want to use that profit margin to show in the form of a bubble over here, yeah, what is the effect of the profit margin on the size of the bubble? Then already here we are having the profit in the measures sector, measures area profit. Yeah, and we also have sales. So what is profit margin? Profit margin is equal to profit divided by sales. Yeah, so what we do, we create a measure over here. Yeah, because we are not having a separate measure for profit margin. So in the dimensions area, again I click on this drop down arrow. Yeah, and I select the first one, that is create calculated field. Yeah, I click on it, and here I write down profit margin. Yeah, profit margin, that is my title of the measure. And then here I write down, if I write down pro, yeah, so I select profit. Yeah, just write down pro. It will, then you can select profit, double click it. Then I put, sorry. Yeah, then I put oblique, that is for division. Yeah, slash, and then profit divided by sales. So I write down sales. Yeah, double click it. So profit divided by sales, that is my profit margin. Yeah, this is a very, very simple formula. Profit margin is equal to profit divided by sales. I apply and I OK, click OK. Yeah. So now you can see that in the measures area, we are having this profit margin. Okay. Now what I do, that I try to put this profit margin into colors. Yeah, because I want to see the effect of this profit margin on the color. So I put this profit margin and put it on the color. Yes. So now it is giving us little bit different things. So now see here, this is important. Okay. Now things have changed. So earlier this technology, if you remember this technology thing, it was getting highlighted. It was having the highest profit, but when you calculate the profit margin, then things have changed. Okay. So now here it is showing us the negative profit. Yeah. -11 you can see over here. These are very, here the profit margin is very negative. Yeah. So this is very less compared to this technology. But now you can see that this office supplies in Europe, this bubble is having a very good profit margin. Yeah. And also over here, that is office supplies in the US and Canada. Yeah. So now as soon as you go for a different measure, things change over here. Yeah. So this is what we mean by a packed bubble chart. Okay. Any question in this chart? Okay. Here you can also play with other things. Yeah. You are having the region also. Then you are having the ship mode. Yeah. You can also put it over here, and then you can play with these bubbles. Okay. Just I'm giving you an idea that how to create these kind of a packed bubble chart. Okay. Okay, good. So now this is our second chart. Yeah. Now let me come back to the third chart. Now this is important. It is known as a Pareto chart. Okay. So what is this Pareto chart? Here you can definitely see this thing, but it contains both bars and a line graph. Okay. So it is a combination of bar chart as well as a line chart. Okay. So we are having bars as well as a line graph where individual values are represented in descending order by bars. So here you can see that all the bars are shown in descending order, yeah, starting with the highest and going to the lowest. And the cumulative total is represented by the line. Okay, so this line is showing you the cumulative total. Now, what it says, the length of the bars represent frequency or cost. Sometimes it can be time or money, and are arranged with longest bars on the left and the shortest to the right. Okay? That is what we have seen. And then now why it is known as Pareto chart? Because it is based on this Pareto principle. 80-20 you know very well that sometimes 80% of the profit you get from 20% of your good products, and vice versa. Yeah, so 80-20 principle. So it usually it says it visually depicts which situations are most significant. Yeah, or sometimes it gives you an idea that it is better to focus on your 3 to 4 products which are giving you the 80% of your profit. Yeah, rather than focusing on the other 80% of your products which are giving you just 20% of your profit. Okay. So this is known as a Pareto chart. Now let us go back to our Tableau and how to create this Pareto chart. Okay. Now to create a Pareto chart, let us create a new sheet. Yeah. So I click on this sheet 3. Yeah. Even let me do one thing. If you want to give the name, yeah, it is better to give the name. So sheet one, this is our Gantt chart.
I'll write it and give. When you're a constant learner only, you can update yourself with the latest technology.
Okay. So here we are having the first sheet is Gantt chart. Then our second sheet, if you want to change the name, you can say that this is our packed bubble chart. Yeah. And then now sheet 3, here we'll be creating the Pareto chart. Yeah, Pareto chart. Okay, so this is our blank sheet, Pareto chart. Now let us start creating the Pareto chart. So in our case, our question is that which products accounts for the most of the total sales. Okay, so which products are more profitable and which is helping us to generate lot of sales. Yeah, in our case. So to do that thing, first of all, now we have used this category very much. So let us now use these subcategories. Yeah, so in this dimensions area, we are having this subcategory field. Yeah, so drag this subcategory field over here in the columns. Okay, so drag the subcategory field in the columns, and then we sales is part of the measures, we put it in the rows. Okay, again I'm repeating that we select this subcategory which is part of this dimension table, we put it in the columns, and the sales which is part of this measures area, we put it in the rows. Okay, now here we are able to get this bar graph. Okay, now currently you can see that it is based on this. It is based on this different subcategories. Right? So it is starting from, I think so this is accessories and appliances. So it is starting from, it is all these categories or I would say subcategories, they are listed in the ascending order, starting with A and it is going till tables, that is T. Okay, and it is showing us the sales for each and every subcategory. Now for Pareto chart, if you have seen this thing, yeah, we have to start from the we have to create the bars which are having the highest frequency. Okay, so this is having the highest frequency and it goes till the lowest frequency. So we have to do like that. So here also, but here it is not in a particular, that particular range, that it is, here it is low, then high, then low, high. So it is not in a particular sequence. So to do that thing, to put all these things into a particular order, I would say a descending order. So what you do that in these columns where we are having this subcategory, yeah, you click on the subcategory, this drop down arrow in the columns. Okay. And now here we have this option sort. Okay, you click on this drop down arrow in the subcategory and then we select this option, that is sort. You click on sort. Okay. Now it is giving us again a dialog box. It says sort by. Okay, ascending or descending. We want to have it in descending. Okay, and here yeah, and sort by, yeah, and an important thing again here in sort by, here we click on this drop down arrow and here we have to select field. Okay, sort by this field. Okay, field, and here it is asking us ascending or descending. We select descending. Yeah, sort by field and sort order is descending. We keep everything same, and now in the background you can see that our sorting has been done. Yeah, sort by field and sort order is descending. I delete this thing. So now we are having everything is in descending. Okay, starting with the highest and it goes till the lowest. Okay, so you can say that one part of our Pareto is ready. Now this is our bar graph. Now we want to create a line chart. Yeah, here you have seen that we have to create this line chart. Can we use the sort ascending icons in the toolbar? Yeah, we can do like that also. Yeah, here you are talking about, yeah. Yeah, from here also you can do it. Okay. Now, I think so I have to repeat. So repeat, what we have to do is that, let me go back. Yeah, we are back in the same situation. So now what I've done, that I go to this subcategory, I click on this drop down arrow, and then I click the sort. Okay, click on sort. Then I get this dialog box. It says sort by, and then if I click on this drop down arrow, I click the field. Yeah, click the field, and then here in sort order I select descending, not ascending but descending. Okay, sort by field and descending, and then I cancel this thing. So now it is done. Okay, now once this is done, then we have to create the line chart. So now important thing comes. Okay, very, very important step. See, on the here on the y-axis we are having the sales, and below on the x-axis we are having the subcategories. Okay, that is what we are seeing over here. Now, if I want to create this line chart, yeah, you can see in this picture also that here we are having two categories. Yeah, or I would say that two y-axis. This is one y-axis and this is another y-axis on the right hand side. And this y-axis on the left hand side, it is for this bar graph, and this y-axis which is on the right hand side, this is for the line chart. Okay, and this x-axis is common. Okay, so we have to create these two y-axis, one on the left hand side, one on the right hand side. Now in our case, we have already created the y-axis on the left hand side. So we want to create another y-axis over here on the right hand side. So to do that thing, we again select sales. Yeah, we select this we take this sales, and then we take it over here like this. Yeah, and then when we bring here towards the border, you can see that there is one dotted line on the right hand side. Yeah, and you are able to see this blue box over here. When you drag these sales and you bring it over here on the border. Yeah, and once you see this dotted line, then you just release your button. Okay, you release your button. So now you can see that we are having two y-axis, one on left hand side, another one on right hand side. Yeah, and now this chart has little bit changed. Okay, so now what we have to do, okay, now important thing comes. Okay, this is one step. Repeat. Okay. Okay, so again I'm undoing this thing. Okay, so we are back to the same thing. We are having one y-axis on the left hand side, and definitely you know that now we have to create a y-axis on the right hand side. So what we have to do is that we select these sales, we select these sales, and then we bring it by the mouse over here on the right hand side. And on the right hand side, you can see this dotted line. As soon as you see this dotted line, you just release your mouse button. Yeah, just release your mouse button. So now on left hand side and right hand side, we are having the y-axis, but our chart has changed over here. Yeah, our chart has changed. Now we have to do some. Yeah.
I have used those slides, so I wish to acknowledge these three authors for giving permission to use their slides, as well as you can also go through this website to get the slides, as well as videos also available, and a lot of inputs are available with respect to mining massive data sets. And I'm highly impressed with their way of giving introduction to recommendation system. I used it for my research, as well as
sorry, I think so this was for us or for whom? Okay.
You can proceed, sir. I have muted it.
Okay, okay. Okay. Okay, so let us come back to this chart. So now we see that this chart has changed, okay? And now below these 5 buttons that we are having, color, detail, tooltip, you can see that we are having these 2 times it is written some sales, yeah? So now the first one, the first part over here is for this line graph or sorry, the bar graph, yeah? Currently we are not able to see this bar graph, but you assume that this first one, the sum sales, it is for the bar graph. And then the second one, yeah, the second sum says it is for this line graph or line chart. Okay. Now, here, as you can see that we are having this, we are able to see these dots only, but actually we should be able to see this, this bar graph as well as the line chart. Okay. So to do this thing, first of all, what we do that we select the first one, the first sum of sales over here. Yeah, please select the first sum of sales. Now here we are having this automatic. So in automatic, instead of automatic, you click the bar over here, yeah, but the bar chart. Yeah, instead of automatic, you click the bar, and now we are having this bar graph over here in the first one. And now if you click the second one, the second sum of sales, yeah, the second sum of sales, instead of automatic, you select the line chart. Yeah, just select the line chart. Okay, so again, I'm repeating here. We are having these 2 sum of sales. Yeah. Here below, we are having these 2 sum of sales. In the first sum of sales, here you select the bar graph. Okay, bar. And in the second sum of sales, you select the line. Okay, so it's bar graph and this thing is ready. So now you can see that, okay, we are having the bar, but here we are having this line, but this line is not similar to this line. Yeah, this line, we should have these kind of line. So to create that kind of line, now let us go further. Now, now here, there is a concept known as running total. Okay, so for creating this particular line, I have to use the running total for this our sales. Okay, so to create that running total, let us do one thing. Now here in this second sales, yeah, now we come back over here again in this sum of sales over here, yeah, and sorry, over here. Yes, over here, sum of sales. Now here in the rows, we are having these 2 sum of sales, the first one and the second one. Now we click the second one over here on the top. Yeah, we click this drop down arrow. Yeah, we click this drop down arrow, and then we go to this option, add table calculation. Yeah, add table calculation. Okay, add table calculation. Now here we say calculation type. We are having this dialog box. It says calculation type. We click on this drop down arrow. Yeah. And then here we select running total. Yeah. In the calculation type, we select running total. Okay. Then this is one thing. Yeah. In calculation type, we select running total. We are keeping this as sum. Now below in this dialog box, we have to, we are having this add secondary calculation. Yeah, add secondary calculation. So we tick mark this add secondary calculation. Yeah, just tick mark over here, this add secondary calculation. Earlier it was not tick marked. Now, once you add this, once you tick mark this add secondary calculation, then on the right hand side here in the same dialog box, we are having the secondary calculation type. Now here in the secondary calculation type, where here it is written difference from, here we select the percent of total. Yeah, we select the percent of total. So in the first primary calculation, we selected running total, and here we are selecting the percent of total. Okay. So this is what we have to do. We as I showed you, we have to click this drop down arrow, yeah, on the sum of sales, the second sum of sales. I click on this here. I think so earlier we were having this button that is known as add table calculation. Currently it is showing me edit table calculation, but initially it was known as add table calculation. And then once you click on that add table calculation, you get this dialog box. In the first part over here, primary calculation type, you have to select running total. And then you click this add secondary calculation, you tick mark this thing, and then you get this second part. And in the second part, secondary calculation type, you select the percent of total. Okay, so once this is done, now you are able to get this line. Yeah. Okay, so we are getting this line. But now, as we have seen in this chart, we want to have a color. We want to give a separate color to this line so that it is become prominent. Okay. So let me give the color over here. Yeah. So yeah, in the just hold on. Yeah. Okay. So we can definitely give the color also over here. Just hold on. I will just get back to you. Yeah, but normally we can give color also over here to this line. But now let us do one thing. Let us see that what we are getting it over here. Okay, in this Pareto, because Pareto, as we said, that it is 80-20 principle which is used. So now you can see that if you see this 80%, yeah, on this y-axis on the right hand side, it says percentage of total running sum of sales. So here, if we see this 80%, and if we go over here, so we can see that these 4 subcategories which are there, 4 subcategories. These 4 subcategories, if we focus on it, these 4 subcategories is giving us our 80. It is generating 80% of our sales. Yeah, these 4 subcategories is generating 80% of the sales. So these 4 categories, subcategories are, I would say, much more important for all of us. Yeah, from the company point of view, and that's why the company should focus more on these 4 subcategories. Yeah, they should also definitely create or manufacture all these other subcategories, but they can manufacture in a very, I would say, less numbers, but more focus has to be given on these 4 subcategories. Yeah. So this is what we mean by the Pareto chart. Okay. Now already it is I would say 3:30. So if you are fine with it, I can definitely go further. Yeah, with another one more chart, if you allow me. or if you want to end up this session over here, then I leave up to you. What is the overall feedback of the participants? Yeah, because already we started a little bit late.
Please proceed, sir.
Yeah, okay.
Participants are ready to listen.
Okay. Now, Pareto principle, I think so. Someone asked me again that what is Pareto's rule? So Pareto, it's a 80-20 rule. So it says that 80% here, what we can see that 80% of our sales are coming from this, just 20% of our total product or subcategories. Okay. So this is what, and these are all the 80% of our products. But this 80% of our products is giving us the 20% of our sales. It is generating 20% of the sales. Yeah. So this is what we mean by the Pareto principle. Okay. So this is done. Pareto is done. Yeah. Okay. Good. Thank you. Now we go further to the next chart. And this chart is known as waterfall chart. Okay. Now, waterfall, as you can see over here, that this is our waterfall chart. So it says that it displays the cumulative effect of sequentially introduced positive or negative values. So this waterfall chart, like say for example, if we are having a column which is showing us the profit. Now, profit can be positive profit. If it is positive, it is profit. If it is negative, it is loss. So whenever we are having these kind of fluctuations, yeah, plus and minus, then if we want to see that how much fluctuation has taken place in profit, whether it was negative or positive, then we can use this kind of a waterfall chart. Okay. So it displays the cumulative effect of sequentially introduced positive or negative values. It shows how an initial value is increased and decreased by a series of intermediate values leading to a final value. Okay, so this is our starting value, this is our ending value, and it shows us that description. It is widely used in finance sector to exhibit how a net value is arrived at by breaking down the aggregate effect of positive and negative contribution. Okay, so it is mostly used in finance sector. So this is all about our theory part. Now come back to the Tableau. Okay. So now again, we create a new worksheet. Yeah. We create new worksheet and we give the name waterfall chart. Yeah. Or simply you can write waterfall also. Now to create a waterfall chart, first of all, we select this subcategory. Yeah, you can see my pointer. We select the subcategory in the dimensions area and we put it in the columns. Okay, we select the subcategory and we put it in the columns. The next thing that we do is that we select the profit. Yeah, profit is available in the measures. So we drag the profit and we put it in the rows. Okay, we put it in the rows. So subcategories and profit. Okay. Now here you can see that we are having all the subcategories. Mostly it is generating some or other profit. But the last one, that is the table section, the table subcategory, it is generating a loss. Here you can see that the tooltip, it is showing us negative profit, that is loss. Okay. While rest all the subcategories are generating the profit, and this example, like this copiers subcategory, it is generating the maximum profit. Yeah, then this is the second one, phone subcategory. Now instead of seeing these particular bar graph, I want to create a waterfall chart. Yeah, so now let us go further. So first of all, I want to use that running total kind of thing. So what I do in this profit, in the rows where I have selected the profit, I click on this drop down arrow. Yeah, click on the drop down arrow. Now I go below and I go till this quick table calculations. Okay, go till quick table calculation, and then here we are having this option running total. Okay, running total. So go to quick table calculations in the sum of profit. Okay, quick table calculation and running total. Yeah. So here you can say that running total is the cumulative of profits of subcategories at each step. Okay, so it is adding up those things, and here you can see at the end there is a drop. Okay, from accessories it is increasing, and then here in the last category tables, as we have seen earlier also, that there is a drop. So here it should show us that drop also in that our waterfall chart. Yeah. So now here it is showing us the bar graph. Okay. Now to create the waterfall chart, first of all, we have to convert this bar graph into a Gantt chart. Yeah. So what we do in this area, that is marks. Yeah. Where we are having these 5 buttons also. Now by default here, the chart is selected is automatic. Yeah. That is Tableau has selected the bar graph and it is automatic. So now here in automatic, I click on this automatic, and then here I'm having this Gantt bar. Yeah, here also we have this Gantt bar. I click on it. Okay, I click on it, and then here we are having these lines. What are these lines? This lines or this is the, it is showing us the top portion of each and every bar. Okay, before that, if you see this thing, before that we were having these bars. So whatever is the tip of each and every bar, it is now showing us in the form of this thing. Okay, so these are all the tips of each and every bar. Now I would like to see the difference. Okay, so if this is the tip, let's say for example on the left hand side below, if this is the tip of the first bar, then here this is the second tip of the second bar, or the tip of the second bar. Now here I would like to see that how much the profit has increased. Yeah, here I would like to see that how much profit has increased from the first level. This is my first level, second level. Then here I'm coming to the third bar or third subcategory, and here I'm able to see that there is some difference in the profit. Yeah, but it has increased. Yeah, so I want to see this increase, and here at the end I would like to see the decrease also. So this is the first part, that is I have in the marks area I have selected this Gantt bar over here. So this is done. Now I would like to create a bar over here showing that difference in the profit. So for that I have to create a measure. Yeah, if I want to show that thing in the form of a bar, I have to create a measure. So in the dimensions, we all know how to create a measure. Hello.
Sorry, sir. Sorry. Some interference.
Yeah. So in the dimensions, we are having this create calculated field. So I click on that, and here I create a calculated field that is known as negative profit. Okay, why it is negative? Because I'm writing negative because if I'm having already the tip, and then if I want to go down, yeah, so I would like to call it as a negative profit. So to do that thing, here I write in calculations, I write down the title, that is negative profit. Yeah, negative profit, that is the title. And then here, what I have to do, I have to write down like this, minus and profit. Yeah, simply minus profit. So it should show me the negative profit below. Yeah, because this is the tip. This is not the starting point of that bar. This is the tip and I want to go down. So this is our one of the measure that we have to create. Negative profit, that is the title, and it is written minus profit. Yeah, and then we click apply. Okay. Is the rule valid for sales and marketing? Yeah, means whenever we want to create such kind of, I would say the waterfall chart, then we have to do like this. Yeah. It can be applied to any other area also, definitely, because mostly, as I said in my presentation, that it is used for the finance, but yeah, it is open to any area. Good. So now we in the measures area, we are having this negative profit. Okay, this is created. Now what we have to do, we have to put this negative profit onto the size. Yeah, over here, size. Okay, because I want to create a bar. Yeah, and this. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
That negative one. What is the calculation? Calculation part.
Okay, I'll show you again. So it's a very simple, just minus profit. Yeah, negative profit is equal to like minus profit. That's all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So now what we have done, that we have placed this negative profit, this measure that we have already calculated, and we have put it in the size. Yeah, in the size. So then we are able to see this nice waterfall chart. Okay, so here we were having the tip of that particular bar, and then we went down. Yeah, you can see this our tooltip. It is showing us the subcategory, then the running total, and what is the negative profit. But actually, this is not the negative profit. Yeah, it is just showing us that bar. But here we can see that the profit is increasing. Yeah. And then here we are having the negative thing. Okay. So another, now if I want to see this loss, yeah, at the end, if I want to see that loss in a very specific manner, because currently all this here we are having these colors, it is showing us the same color, yeah, dark blue color. But if I want to show something loss in some different color, then we can definitely do it. So what we do, that we drag this profit. Yeah. Now in the measures area, we drag this profit and we put it in the colors area over here. Yeah. Drag the profit and we put it in the colors area. Yeah. We drag the profit and put it in the colors area. And now you can see that it is showing us a very good color. Yeah. What this is the negative one. Yeah, here we are having the loss, so that's why it is showing in a totally different color. Yeah, and then all the other these bars, they are shown in one color, but here also there is a density. Yeah, this copiers and these phones, definitely earlier we saw that they are having the highest profit, so it is showing us in dark blue color. The rest are in the different shades of blue, and this is your tables. It is generating loss, so it is showing us in a, maybe you can say that brown color. Yeah, light brown color. So this is how we can create a waterfall chart. Yeah. So I think so maybe we can wind up now. Yeah, if you want, because I know that you are working on this Tableau since morning. For me, this was just one session, but you have attended 3 sessions today. So so tomorrow, what we'll do, that we'll continue. Tomorrow is also a very important topic, that is dashboard, how to create the dashboard, and also how to create the stories out of your out of your dashboard, because normally we use this dashboard to be presented to the top management, yeah, or to any or to your group. So how we can use these kind of charts, yeah, and we can create some kind of dashboard, because normally, as you see that, if you know that dashboard is having different varieties of chart. Yeah, we can have either 3 charts, 4 charts, 5 charts, depending upon the space we are having. And that dashboard is like one shot where we can get all the information, yeah, together. Currently, what we have done here, we have created one chart on each and every different sheet. But in case of dashboard, we'll be having at least 3 to 4 charts together. So tomorrow I'll be focusing on that dashboard, how to create dashboard, what are the things that you have to take care during the dashboard, how to do the little bit of formatting, and then I'll be taking the stories part. Yeah, how to create, how to generate stories. Stories means one kind of you can use it in the form of a presentation. Yeah, because normally in presentation also what we are doing, we are generating stories, we are creating stories. Yeah, great. So that's all from my side. Okay, now how to save these types of charts separately? Okay, because all these charts, they are part of this one file only. Okay, and in Tableau Public, you have to save it in the cloud only. Okay, so you can do one thing. You can from here, file. When you click on file, you are having this option: save to Tableau Public or save to Tableau Public as. So if you click on save to Tableau Public as, then here you have to sign in. Yeah, currently I'm not signing in, but you have to give your email ID, password, and then you can save it. Yeah, you can give your name also, that okay, this is like, you can give the name to the file that is advanced charts. Yeah, just for your reference. Okay. So great. So I hope that I was able to give you some idea about, because see, there are many different charts. Okay, so within one and a half hour, we can like I cannot cover all the charts, but at least these are some of the popular charts which are there. There are 2 more charts which I wanted to cover, but maybe let us see tomorrow. If we are having time, then we can cover up. That is, one is known as tree map, another one is known as word cloud, and much more. Okay, but at least the idea behind this webinar or this kind of HTTP is that just to give you a grip, a little bit of grip on Tableau, and then once you are interested in this tool, definitely you can work on your own also. Okay, there are many YouTubes and all those things which are available. So that is how you can, yeah, work on it. Okay. Yes, madam. Thank you. And yeah.
Participants, do you have any more questions? Thank you, sir.
Sir, hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, you can ask your question.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening, madam.
Sir, is there any specific advanced chart which can be used for healthcare data, sir?
That I'll check it, because currently I do not have answer, but
Okay.
I will check it, and then yeah, you can ask me the same question tomorrow also, so that I don't forget.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay,
and,
thank you, sir.
I'll do it. Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Hello.
Sir, what is the file extension name of Tableau?
I think so. That is TW something. Yeah. Just hold on.
I think it is TWB, sir.
TWB. Yeah.
Sir, one question suppose I have a Tableau file in my laptop and I don't have Tableau installed. So if I open that file, will it be opening in Excel or will it show error?
No, it will show you error. It will show you error.
So yeah, to open a Tableau file, I need to have Tableau installed, right?
Yes, definitely. You should have the Tableau. So yeah.
Can I open a Tableau file through Excel? I mean, open with another software in that. Can I open it with Excel?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, because that extension and everything is totally separate. So I don't think so. Though I've never tried it, to be frank with you, but I hope that that is not possible. Yeah. Otherwise, then people then they can work. But you can definitely, I think so. You can, whatever the charts you are preparing on Tableau, you can also export to this thing, Excel also. And I think so vice versa is also possible. If you have created some charts in Excel, I think so, but maybe I'll work on it. But definitely there's export facilities available.
Okay, I mean, sir, suppose if I show some presentation to someone, and if it was a Tableau presentation, and if I don't have, I mean, it was I exported from some another laptop. So if I don't have Tableau installed, so I cannot show that file to that person, I mean, for the presentation.
Okay, so maybe tomorrow we'll check on it. This point is very, very important, that if I create a story out of my presentation, like my charts, then whether I can export to PowerPoint. So that we'll see tomorrow whether we are able to do it or not. Yeah, that is because I think so. Once you transfer it to PowerPoint, then definitely you can show it. But I think so when you shift to PowerPoint, then that effect, that if
interface
you want
will change, right, sir?
Yeah, because that filtering, if you want to show that filtering effect, then I think so it is not possible when you shift to say for example PowerPoint. But yes, if you are using the Tableau and if you are creating the story, then definitely you can show your audience all those effects.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so
thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you
The
all.
way you explained the four different charts was exemplary. The Gantt, packed bubble, Pareto, waterfall chart, everything was interesting. It was really interesting to learn and practice. Thank you for being with us today, sir.
No, my pleasure, madam. And special thanks goes to Anand sir also for connecting me to your institute as well as this STTP. So thank you, Anand sir.